The characters and events depicted in this podcast is for mere entertainment. Any similarity to actual persons, living or dead, or going through their third surgery is purely coincidental. Listen at your own risk.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Somos the Next Generation. Welcome to the second to last episode of the season. I'm very looking forward to wrapping this season up. Finally, once again, I've been saying it for the past 3-4 episodes. Finally, the season is wrapping up. It's been quite lengthy, and it's been kind of, been pushing itself back for some odd reason. Reasons that I will explain on the season's finale's episode, which will be airing this Friday, March 24th. I'm looking forward to that episode. I think it's going to be a very interesting episode in a sense. There's just quite a few things that I should talk about, and it's all going to unveil itself on that episode. Thank you so much for watching our latest episodes. It's been a while since I've uploaded episodes kind of back to back, so I'm really I'm happy and excited for the outcome in a sense. Once again, Bad Hombres did receive a lot of views. The last time it received so much views was, to be frank, episode 16 of the season. Episode 16 kind of received the same amount of views. It actually surpassed that, and I'm really excited about that. I'm kind of happy how that turned out. Not sure how it turned out, but I'm really glad. I hope you guys also enjoyed the Calling of the Man. It was supposed to be like a spin-off sequel type of episode to the previous episode, Bad Hombres. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. These last two episodes, frankly, kind of all link with each other, and I think it's all a series of events that I'm trying to stitch up in a sense, and I hope you guys do enjoy it. This episode, of course, will be aired on Wednesday, 2 days prior to the season finale. So you should be seeing it, if not at 6 o'clock, sometime that Wednesday. But yeah, I'm really excited. I think everything is just unwrapping itself, unveiling itself on its own for its own purpose, and I think I'm looking forward to this new era in a sense. But let's get on this episode. Let's talk about it. It's going to be a very interesting episode I have planned out, because I will talk about relationships. Let's talk about relationship in a general topic. This again is going to link to the past two episodes, and it's going to be somewhat linked to the last episode of the season. So I think it's very important to check it out. But yeah, let's talk about relationships. I had to not lube up. Yeah, let's call it lubed. I had to lube up my throat a little bit so I can speak thoroughly in a sense. So cheers. This episode is presented to you by Estrella Jalisco's beer, Cerveza Dorada. Nah, that sounded so white. Anyways, cheers to you guys. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. I think it's 5 o'clock here. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm losing track of time now. But 1 second. Let me look. Okay. Great. So, what is it that I want to talk about in terms of relationships? So, I think I have previously discussed relationships in previous episodes, and I feel like lately or in these past few years, and it's becoming a little harder to stay in a relationship, in a monogamous relationship, quote unquote. And I mean, to each their own. Everybody finds a way to have their relationship work, and if it's having an open relationship, if it's inviting a third person to their sex life, uh, being a throuple, that's something that has been coming up in a sense these past few years in terms of relationships. Whatever makes your relationship work, I think it counts, and it's important. I think it's also important to not fall out in terms of that relationship. For instance, in my opinion, I think I'm up to have an open. I'm really open in a sense. I'm open minded. Whatever works for everybody. Once again, I think monogamy it's very rare lately, and it doesn't necessarily have to mean a bad thing, or it doesn't necessarily mean like nobody can be monogamous. It's just it's just the way you want to work your relationship, So I'm really open minded. If any future relationship that I'm in, if my partner wants to be in an open relationship, then I mean that's something that we can discuss and something that we can work out. Now, if it becomes an issue, like the other guy says, I want to have an open relationship, but you're like, I don't want to, or you kind of mention it to your partner, and your partner's like, yeah, that's not gonna happen, and then it all unravels, and then you guys start having issues, and then you break up because of that. I'm just kidding. Whoa, I went in a different direction with that comment. I think it's just very important to have communication in the relationship, especially when there's going to be this idea brought up about having or opening up the relationship. For those of you who don't know, the definition that I know of an open relationship is, of course, it's you two. And I mean, there's rules. There's rules in different open relationships. You're able to see other people, but most importantly, not forget your partner. It is for the most part, I think they're able to see other people, and it's preferably for each individual to see their own people, but never mix it in. I think once it's mixed in, it's a little more of it's a little bit of wanting a threesome type of thing. It can become a little complicated in a sense because actually, let me get into this. I feel like sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. I think that when it doesn't work, it's because I think you purposely try to mess up or fuck up your relationship. You don't mean it, and it's not something like you're planning out to mess up your relationship. But sometimes when you include a third person, I feel like if you were to include a third person in a relationship, things can be a little shaken up, and it's possible for your partner to be a little more interested in that third person than you. And I think that's where, it all starts to fuck up. That's when it starts to mess up the relationship. When the third person is causing an issue with the original couple. This is why there should be rules involved with open relationships. But it is also important for there to be a huge respect towards your partner, a huge respect towards this idea that you guys have both agreed with. And it just tends to happen that sometimes the other person could be a little more attracted to the guy, to the third person. Sorry, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a guy. Obviously, in my case, it would be a guy, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. Damn, I lost my train of thought. Anyway, loading. I lost the Wi-Fi connection. It is possible for your partner to be interested in this third person, or for you to be a little more interested in this third person. Now, I think it is important for both of you to be, yes, open-minded, but also to understand that third person, in a sense, is this is gonna sound bad, but in a sense, he's a sex toy. It's something that you bring into the bedroom to just spice things up, in a sense, in the relationship, in the sexual relationship. And of course, it's not for everybody. Now, being a throuple, now that's a whole different approach. It's a whole, beyond just doing a threesome or having an open relationship. Being a throuple, I think it is all of you are engaged in a single relationship, quote unquote. But I think it can become a little faulty once again, because one can be interested more than the other, and blah 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 blah. So it's very important for it's important for you to think and to see who would actually be interested in having this relationship, and know that it might fail at the end of the day, and if it does fail at the end of the day, I think it's important to have that communication with each other and say, hey, I think it's important to give us a break about this open relationship, and it's important to close it for a second and just stick with each other. But I think maybe at that point it might be a little rough, only because you guys have both been used to just being able to talk to anybody, and yeah, of course, that's open relationships and threesomes and whatnot. It's very different, and it's within the couple. But I think it's also very important when the other person's having an affair to only be fair to each other, to your partner. And if you no longer feel happy in that relationship, and you start having an affair with somebody, it can only mean one thing: you don't want to be in that relationship anymore. I think it's important to step away, to come clean, and it's important to be true to yourself, and not try to keep something only because someone works behind, or it works outside with people, but it does not work within closed doors. I think when people start having affairs, it's just that, it can be something, for sure, it fucks up a relationship, for sure. The trust becomes broken, and it's actually quite um, rare that it actually fixes at some point. But I don't think you ever learn to trust a person ever again, at least not 100%. Um, and, having affairs can only mean you might just be looking for an adventure, and it sucks because I don't think it's fair for the other person that you want to be adventurous, yet you don't want to leave the relationship. I don't think it's fair. I think it's important for you to just leave the relationship. If you're not happy in the relationship because you're looking for adventure out there, and you're having an affair already, I think it's important for you to leave the relationship. It's not fair for anybody. It's not fair for the third person, even if I think the third person is also at fault, because the person knows that you are in a relationship and he or she does not care the consequences, all because you want that person. And of course, all is fair in love and war, but it's also very unfair. Let me have a very dramatic pause here because I need to take a small sip because I think I'm drying up a little bit. It's been a while since I've actually brought a drink into some of the next generation. But once again, guys, it's I think these past 2 years, these past 2 seasons have been a little different, and especially this one because I think this one I have done it just by myself. And who knows, maybe I'll be freshen up the podcast, and I'll work something out with Daniel and kind of like bring him back to record, and we can just fix it up, just reboot it once again, and then we can talk about these type of things together, and he can give me his opinions, I can share my opinions, and then just go from there. Then we can do that. But I think that's all I wanted to share in terms of relationships. I think when you're no longer happy, I think it's important for you to also be honest to yourself and be fair to yourself and be strong for yourself and be happy for yourself and try to search for that happiness. If you're no longer happy in that relationship, I think it is a good idea that you leave. Obviously, hopefully, and hoping that you'll do it in good terms, because I think, excuse me, I don't think there's a need to end in bad terms, unless it's something like horrible that you've done to the person. Then it can be a little bit of a salty situation. But yeah, I think it's very important for you to just enjoy your relationship. And when it doesn't feel like it's working out, then it's probably your gut feeling saying that it's not working out. That it's important for you to just walk away, but also be honest with the person and be fair with the person, with your partner, and try to make him or her understand that it's not working out. Especially when there's trust issues, when there's that very lack of communication. There's a poor judgment of decisions made within the relationship from one partner or both partners. I don't know. When it's all fights and whatnot, when it's all just arguing, it's all being mad with each other, and it's just, I think those are just some signals and some signs that maybe the relationship isn't working out, and maybe you're just trying to lie to yourself and trying to make it seem like it is, and it's gonna work out, and it's gonna happen, and you guys are gonna be together for a very long time. But I think life is very short. I think life is very short to just live in a lie, and it's too short to not enjoy it. And if you're not happy and if you're not feeling like you're enjoying the relationship, I think you should wake up and realize that. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for listening. I think I'm gonna wrap this up. I don't know how long have I been talking about this. So thank you so much for listening to me, guys. Thank you so much for being a part of Summer's Next Generation. Thank you always for for supporting, for the people who always look at my videos, and for the people who keep following me and always whenever a video pops up, even if it's like 1 month after, 2 months after, like they're still there and still watching and still share it. I do appreciate it. I'm looking forward to recording the last episode of season 3 of Summer's the Next Generation, and I think it's a very important topic for me, and to just let things out of my chest. But as of now, I think this is it. I'm gonna close down this episode, gonna shut it down, and we will be back. We'll see you guys Friday, March 24th, for the season finale of Summer's the Next Generation Season 3. See ya.